Another lawnmower, another problem. This time it's simple enough though, just a flat tyre, which you would imagine is an easy fix, and the guy who owns this is pretty good with his hands, so if it was an easy fix he would have easily fixed this himself. The problem with this tyre is, if you can see in there, there's no tube. It's a tubeless tyre, which is not uncommon. Lots of these tyres are tubeless tyres. Modern car tyres are all tubeless tyres. They're not like a bicycle, they don't have a separate inner tube. The air is just in the tyre, there's nothing else inside there. Now, that's fine when the tyre's in good condition. What can happen, especially with cheaper tyres, like for lawnmowers and hand trucks and quad bikes and stuff like that, over time the tyre just goes a little bit perished, goes a little bit porous, and even though there mightn't be a nail or a thorn in it, it still just doesn't hold the air as well as it should, so it starts to go flat. Also, what can happen, the piece of the tyre there at the end of my thumb is called a bead, and that bead has to sit up on the lip of the wheel rim, just in there. And sometimes the tyre doesn't make a very good seal against the steel wheel rim, and it leaks out air there very slowly, and again it goes flat. Now the problem with a small little tyre like this, and especially one that has quite a wide or a tall tyre wall, for the width of the tyre anyway, it can be very difficult once these are flat and the tyre is not seated on the rim, like this one isn't. It can be very difficult to re-inflate these again and to get the tyre to actually seat properly onto the rim. And I'll show you what I mean. If I just put some air into there, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing is happening, it's still flat, and the reason for that is because of the big gap here. Even if I push the rim into the tyre, the air still escapes, so that can be a bit of a problem when trying to seat a tubeless tyre, especially one like this, like a quad bike or a lawnmower or something like that. The simple fix would be put a tube in it, and you could do that, but there is a little trick to getting these to seat. Now, first thing I'm going to do is take the valve, this inner part of the valve, out of the valve itself. That means when I do go to try and inflate the tyre, there's nothing restricting the flow of air. So the quicker I can get the air to flow in, and the more of it I can get in there in a short space of time, the better chance I have of actually getting that to seat. But this tyre is actually quite loose on the rim, so now there is a machine or a tool called a bead blaster that is the proper way of seating a tubeless tyre. That's difficult to do. Sometimes with truck tyres and some agricultural tyres, it's very difficult to get them to seat as well. So I'll just squeeze this. Now this is going to do two things. By squeezing the outside of the tyre with the ratchet strap, it makes the volume inside of the tyre smaller, which means I don't have to put as much air into it in order to build a bit of pressure, which is going to help. The second thing this does is it squeezes the bead of the tyre up against the wheel rim, and you know, if it can just seal up just enough for me to get some air pressure inside in it, the air pressure itself holds the bead of the tyre onto the wheel rim. Okay, we have some pressure in it now. It's grand, so I'm quickly going to try and get the valve back in so I can keep the pressure in there. Now, while the strap is still on it, I'm going to inflate it to about 15 or 20 psi. Okay. Hopefully when I take the strap off, and it's going to come off with some vigour, it will stay seated. This is the dangerous part. Okay. And just check it again. I normally put about 15 or 20 psi in these little tyres. They're well able to hold. It probably says on it what the max is. Maximum 24. So actually I'll put a bit more than 20 into it. 24. So that's it. Now, you could also go and buy a tube. A tube for that size tyre is about €9, and put a tube into it and you wouldn't have that problem, but you know, that's a free fix. Forgot to say, actually, most people, if they can't seat a tubeless tyre, they fill it full of lighter fluid or petrol or easy start or something and ignite it. I've seen lots of people do that. It does work. I personally don't do it because I think it's a little bit dangerous, but it is a common thing to do. It works on the principle that if you fill the inside of the tyre full of some sort of gas and ignite it, the same as an explosion from igniting some sort of liquid, it creates expanding gas, and that expanding gas fills up the tyre really, really quickly, inflates it temporarily, just enough to seat the actual tyre onto the wheel rim. You can definitely do that with a bigger tyre. I wouldn't chance it with just a small one. I think my thing works better with small tyres, but certainly for tractor tyres and truck tyres, that is, you can do that. Anyway, thanks for watching.